Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Cinder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits, so get ready to be inspired. Our special guests today are Dudley Conneely, Executive Director, and Abbey Eads, member of Eyeshine. Welcome, Dudley and Abbey.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting us.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad you're both here because I know you have a big story to tell us, and I've learned all kinds of things about Eyeshine on your website, and now I'm eager to hear it from both of you. So who would like to start? Let's jump in and talk about Eyeshine.
Abbey.
Hi, okay, so my name's Abbey Eads. I'm a part of Eyeshine organization, and Eyeshine is a nonprofit organization that just inspires and is dedicated to empowering individuals with disabilities to go on new experiences and have new adventures in just a supportive space.
And you, it seems like I got the sense that you mostly serve children, young people, maybe up to 25 or something?
Yes.
Well, actually, we have the visually impaired, we go from 6 to 60 in the visually impaired community. So we have people in their 50s going up to Bear Mountain to ski with us, and very active in the organization. So it's not just children, and it's not only visually impaired, it's special needs children. We have Down syndrome kids, and we have autistic kids that are also in the program.
Wow. And so tell me about visually impaired people skiing. Tell me how that works.
Yes, so we are assigned a guide. We go up to Bear Mountain, and we all get together, and we're assigned a guide, and they take us up the mountain, and they ask, you know, what level of visual impairment do you have? Some people are completely blind, some people have some vision, and they'll either use, you'll hold onto their pole and they'll ski backwards and go down, or they wear bright vests and you can follow them as they go down, and we all get to ski or snowboard. Do
you ski or
Yes, I snowboard.
Oh golly. And I mean, how long have you been doing that?
So I have been a part of Eyeshine since 2016, and we've been doing adventures like skiing, whitewater rafting, going out to the Channel Islands to go deep sea fishing. Yeah.
I bet that really makes a big impact in your life to be able to do those things. Is it scary?
Does. Honestly, it is like a little bit unfamiliar at first, but with the support of like our community, it's just fun.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So Dudley, tell me, how long has Eyeshine been around? How did you start? I think you have a very interesting story.
Yeah, well, you know, I've worked overseas my whole career, actually, with nonprofits, and mostly in places like Gaza right now. I worked in Afghanistan, so I had a lot of experience in disaster relief and international development with nonprofits, especially Save the Children. So when I came back from Afghanistan, I guess it was around 2010, we were lucky enough, my wife and myself, I have 8 kids, and so we were lucky enough to find a place here because the houses weren't as expensive as they are now. It was 2011. Anyway, I volunteered over at Braille Institute, which is an organization I think you know that does work with the visually impaired, and I work with a youth program. From one day to the next, Braille shut down their youth program, and it was kind of a shock to us. The fellow I was working with had been the director of the youth program there at Braille for 16 years. So it just happened that they decided to do this. So the families, like her mom, Tricia, and many other families, and the kids themselves, kind of got a hold of me. One of the mothers, Darcy Crystal, who was very influential in Santa Barbara, her son is completely blind from meningitis. Every one of our children and adults have different stories Some of them are born blind. Some of them, like Abbey, became blind because of different reasons. I think when she was 13, you had a tumor, right?
Yeah, I had a brain tumor. It was wrapped around my optic nerves, and it caused me to lose my vision. So I only have 90% vision.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So we started a nonprofit. I had experience, 501c3. We got all the paperwork done with the state and the federal government, and we started rolling. Right now, we're up to 20 events a year. That's
20?
Yeah, it's almost 2 a month.
When you say events, you mean sort of outings for the members?
Adventuresome sporting events.
Okay.
Like whitewater rafting, like skiing, like fishing, like the water park up here in Lake Casitas. So we also have an educational program, Cinder, online on Zoom.
Oh.
And a lot of the people that are in that are not people like Abbey that are in college, are studying, and have that opportunity. They're more people that are very low income. They're completely blind, and they might have some kind of other disability along with it. So we have a program that airs 4 classes a week on tips and tricks of iPhones, on current events, yoga. There's a yoga class, and there's a accessibility class on how to use the new accessible techniques in an iPhone or on their computer. So it gets them caught up, because a lot of these people, when we started, didn't even have a phone. And so they're able to communicate better. They're able to live their lives a lot better. And so that's another part of it. But the main one is what we say, we want to instill courage, confidence, and character in our members. Because, and I'll tell you a story, if you don't mind.
I would love it.
Well, when I was first starting it, we worked not only in Santa Barbara, we worked in the Central Coast from Santa Maria to Oxnard. And I was visiting one of the families there, and very low income in Oxnard. And I went in to talk to this little boy. He was about 12. And he was just sitting in his room. He wasn't going to school. His parents were in Mexico. His aunt had brought him here. And he was kind of isolated. So I got him involved in some of the different events. We always had to go to his house and pick him up. Most of the families are very helpful. Like when we go whitewater skiing, whitewater rafting, we don't have to rent a van. Sometimes we do, if we have like 40. But a lot of times the parents drive up and help us and bring some of the kids that don't have transportation. Anyway, to make a long story short, you know who he is, but I won't mention any names. He started going to the events. He loved the fishing events. One year he caught 10 fishes. And he loved the whitewater rafting. He loved everything about the program. He got into school in the Oxnard system. And today he is in college. He has a girlfriend. And he dreams of being a translator on radio or television, Spanish, English.
Wow.
So again, you know, it's such a help, because I think what happens, and Abbey can back me up, the kids get more confidence in themselves.
Yes.
Like if they can, I mean, whitewater rafting isn't easy and it's dangerous.
Right.
You know, I got thrown out of the boat one time I was there.
You did.
Know? And so, but they love the challenge. And again, I think because they feel that they can do things that other children that are visually impaired, or that are not visually impaired, can't do. And it's true. I mean, can you ski in the mountains?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't. You know, I never learned how to. I was a big athlete in college and everything, but I never went skiing. And a lot of the families don't get an opportunity to participate in these types of sports because it's very expensive.
Yeah, right.
So that's where our donors come in. They're really good, and the nonprofits like the United States Adaptive Recreation Center up there in Bearmount, they provide a price and a volunteer. They have a professional skier with every kid and adult that's up there. So we have this all over in all of our events we do. For example, goal ball. Do you know what goal ball is?
No.
It's a sport that the visually impaired play. This one is so competitive. If she doesn't win, you'll see tears. No? But,
is that right, Abbey?
Thanks,
and
Dudley.
what happens, Oxnard gives us a gym. Every year we have 1 or 2 tournaments, and all the families come in and they root for their kids. And the idea of the game, it's just like soccer. It's a soccer goal, right? And then, but they only have 3 people to a team. They're all visually impaired, or if they're not, blindfolded. They have to wear a blindfold. For example, if I play on one of the team or you play, it's on your knees, and what they do is they block. They roll. It's the size of a gymnasium. They roll the ball down, and one of the 3 defense tries to stop it from going into the goal.
And I will say the playing field is even because everybody has blindfolds, but the way that you orient yourself is with tactile lines. So you're just feeling and listening.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So, Abbey, are you in college?
Yeah, I'm a college student.
Okay, and you live in Ojai?
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you go to college
I
then?
go to college at California State University, Channel Islands.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. It's a great experience so far. I really like it.
How would you say Eyeshine has really impacted your life?
So I think it's impacted me in so many different ways. I think the very first time I noticed it was a couple years after my diagnosis of becoming blind, and I was entering into high school, and the feeling of isolation and kind of being overwhelmed because it was harder to connect with the sighted community that I was once a part of. So I wanted to get more connected to my peers in my school and other students. So I brainstormed with Dudley, and we came up with the idea to start a club called Eyeshine Alliance. And I was able to get a group of kids together to start a couple really special projects. One of my favorites being starting to reach out to restaurants in my community, and with the help of my Braille teachers, producing Braille menus for them. And that was something that helped me feel like I was getting connected back to that community that I felt, distant from at one point.
That is a great project. So are they still using the Braille
I
menus?
think so, yeah.
Golly.
On the questions of Braille, every year several of the schools here in Santa Barbara ask us to participate in a science night.
Oh.
And our children that are excellent with Braillers go, and then other people show how they can see through their phones or magnifying equipment or new apps that are on the phone, or the Brailler. And the little kids come in. It's usually from 1 to 6 grade, and we go to Hollister School and some of the other schools. And one of our members types their names in Braille. So they're watching him, and that's how he's completely blind, has been for his whole life, but that's how he communicates. And he's amazing. He's amazing with an iPhone. I'm talking about Joe, your buddy Joe. And he's, so he's all evening there typing the children's name. And then what we do in these classes, it's reaching out to the community who reaches out to us too. We blindfold a lot of the children, and we give them their canes. And they're walking around the school seeing what it's like to have to avoid things. And usually they're pretty good at it, Yeah.
That is fabulous.
But that's another program that we try to give back to the community in whatever way we can.
And what a great learning experience for people who are sighted. I bet they learn a lot from that interaction.
Oh yes, they're very, and the parents. And not only that, sometimes we find children that are visually impaired or have a special need, and then we get them involved also. So we're always growing as much as we can to serve the community, because in a way we're kind of the best kept secret. You probably never heard of Eyeshine.
I had
never. We're out of Goleta, but we're all over the place. We're in Santa Clarita. We go to the Gentle Barn there in Santa Paula. We go to the paintball gun, and the kids are blind, but they're shooting each other with paint and Nerf balls. I don't know. So all the different activities are just to help the children, again, and the adults, get out there and have more confidence in themselves, several of them are working now, you know. And Abbey, I think, are you still studying biology or chemistry? No.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and I don't doubt one of our kids from Ventura, you know, Seneca Hill.
Yes, Seneca.
Is on her last year to become a visually impaired teacher.
So exciting.
God.
So she went through that system in grammar school, where every school has educational programs, a special education, and now she's going to be a teacher. And that was her dream, and she just went out and did it, no? So.
Gosh. So you collaborate with a lot of different organizations, and you also use volunteers a lot, it sounds like.
Yes, we do. You know, and a lot of times the volunteers are part of the family, you know, who drive up with us, some college students, and like I said, we could use any type of volunteer we could use, especially those that are good at administration, that are good at working on our drive, our Google Drive. I'm sure Holly is very good at this, but you know, I'm kind of a dinosaur, but they help immensely in organizing our technical part of the organization, because that's very important to get the word out.
And so Eyeshine is a nonprofit 501c3, and so a person could go on your website, for example, and make a financial donation.
That's what they do.
You would love that, and it would be tax deductible. And while they're on the website, they could find out how to be a volunteer. They could find out more about your programs. They could find out how to collaborate with you if they're an organization or...
Exactly. And we participate, you know. One thing we also use, Cinder, is MailChimp. And you know, one of our students, one of our volunteers, sends out maybe monthly newsletters through MailChimp, and that's another way that we ask for donations. A lot of the people are old friends of mine. I've been around a long time, so they went to college with me or high school. Some of them are more influential than others, but we get donations from $10 on up, you know, whatever. And so that's what we really want to do. Because we've grown so much, sometimes the donors dry up a little bit, and, you know, they've given, but then they want you to get... So we're in that situation right now where we're reaching out, trying to get new donors, and not only to donate, but to join us on some of the activities.
So Dudley and Abbey, we have about a minute left. Is there anything else you'd like our audience to know about Eyeshine?
Well, you know, it's difficult to explain everything we do, but I just want to let you know, as far as I feel very lucky to be able to do this, because the kids give me such an example of how they're fighting. They didn't get all the breaks, but they're coming back, they're going to school, and several of them, I'm sure, will be married and have children, and that's what our main goal is, so that our participants can get rid of the stigma that belongs to visually impaired people and live a normal life, like independent life, like anybody else. And that's happening, as you can see with Abbey.
Yes. How about you, Abbey? Anything you...
I'm just so grateful to be a part of this community that just empowers people who have blindness or other disabilities, and it's just a really special thing to have in our lives. So thank you, Dudley.
Well, thank you both for sharing your very inspiring story with us. Thank you for all the work that you do that touches so many lives. We appreciate you being on our show, telling our audience about it.
Thank you.
And thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you so much.
And thanks for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.